Welcome back to What Healing Knows guided blog series. This series is an invitation to listen to your body and return to the healing it already knows. It's divided into 8 segments, with 7 episodes in each, for a total of 55 episodes. Each one shares stories and simple practices to support your return to wholeness. I'm Dr. Kitty. This is segment 2, Returning to Wholeness, episode 7, You Belong to Yourself Before You Belong Anywhere Else. Have you ever changed who you are to be accepted? Most of us have. In this episode, we explore what happens when belonging requires performance and how the body carries the quiet cost of that effort. We begin the work with returning to yourself before you belong anywhere else. Sit back, relax, and return to wholeness. Episode 7. You belong to yourself before you belong anywhere else. Who you are is not something you earn. It is something you return to. Reflection. They call me Goggles, she said, almost smiling, as she sat on the exam table. Their room was quiet, in a way clinics are, bright light, clean walls. I rolled my chair closer and lowered myself to her eye level, not to examine her, but to meet her. She adjusted her glasses, though they did little to hide her large, bulging eyes. Goggles? I asked. Who calls you that? My friends, my family, everyone really. At first, she kept it light, a smirk, a shrug, a practiced expression of someone who has learned how to make discomfort easier for others to digest. Then her face shifted, not dramatically, just enough. The smile thinned, her eyes softened, the body spoke before her words did. It's how they show love in my circle, she said. They don't mean it badly. It's like a hug, to make me feel better. Better about what? I asked. My eyes, she said. They're big. They stick out. They look like goggles. My patient, whom I will call Eva, has thyroid eye disease, an autoimmune condition where inflammation causes the tissues behind the eyes to swell, persistently pushing them forward. It can affect vision, comfort, and appearance. It's not cosmetic. It's not a choice. It is the body responding to imbalance. Do they know it hurts you when they call you Goggles? I asked, knowing the answer, yet wanting her to hear herself say it. She paused, then said quietly, I don't think so. Why would they? I've never told them, and I answer to it. I laugh with them. They can see it anyway, she added, even through my glasses, unless I wear dark ones. Sometimes I don't know which is worse, wearing sunglasses inside or letting them see my goggles. My goggles, I say gently. You just used the same word to describe your eyes. What choice do I have? She whispered. It's true. They're right. Her voice tried to stay steady, but her large, pearly eyes betrayed her pain. Tears gathered in them, holding the fluorescent light the way a tide holds the moon. Can you help me make them smaller? She asked. Then came one last soft, please. And the tears fell like clear beads slipping from a sacred place, tracing her cheeks with the elegance of rain on glass. Even in sorrow, her eyes were not something to hide. They were vast, they were bright, they were breathtaking. Yet the world around her had taught her otherwise. This was a familiar story. In middle and high school, anyone who looked different was often given a nickname without their consent, usually tied to their physical features. Some of those names followed people into adulthood, and even now, many still respond to them as if they were their own. Rarely does anyone ask what it felt like to be renamed. It was not framed as cruelty, it was treated as normal. And that's part of what made it last. Many of us learned early that being seen as we are could be dangerous, that standing out invites commentary, that the safest path was to accept the label before it cut too deep, to laugh first, to agree quickly, to call ourselves what others already had, often shaped by their perceptions and their unexamined insecurities. Eva tried to fit inside a narrow definition of beauty, which generally is common practice. We bleach our skin, change the way we talk, change the way we wear our hair, not always because it's who we are or we are self expressing, but because we want to belong. I remember being told by my counselor not to wear braids to my medical school interview, so I didn't. In one interview, I was asked if I planned to have children. I said no, not because it was my truth, but because I felt I had to cross the bridge to the other side. I told myself it was temporary. I told myself it was a strategy. I told myself it was what it took to become a doctor. Maybe it was. But even after I got there, the tests do not stop. A patient will look past me and ask, when is the doctor going to see me? And in that moment, I feel the old message again, the one that says you must keep proving that you belong. I've heard parents talk about which child has good hair and which one does not, as if worth can be measured in texture. I have watched people be shamed of their weight, height, skin tone, accent, and simply for taking up space as themselves. Maya Angelou captures it beautifully in her poem, When I Think About Myself. I laugh so hard I almost cry. I laugh until I start to die. So we laugh along. We hide, we comply, we accept the name, we dull the sting, we build armors to soften the blow and keep the peace just to survive. And eventually, we start remembering the very habits that silence who we are. We forget that the performance was a shield. Then we begin to agree that who we are is not enough, that we will belong later, after we adjust, after we change. This is not conspiracy, it's a passage, a painful shift from the innocence of simply being into the awareness of how the world measures, compares, and categorizes. Somewhere along the way, we learn to edit ourselves, and too rarely does someone stop and say, your eyes are beautiful, your skin is enough. Wear your hair your way. Your body is not a problem. Belonging to yourself means saying no to labels and yes to the truth of who you are now, to this body, to this moment. And if I choose to change, it's not to earn love or permission. It's to care for what already belongs to me. Because when you do not belong to yourself, belonging anywhere else becomes fragile, exhausting, conditional, and fitting in leads to betrayal. I told Ava not to hide her big eyes. As she said, people will notice them anyway. Instead, I invited her to stop shrinking. I asked her to take a lesson from Muhammad Ali. Choose your own name, your own story, your own belonging. Do not hand anyone the power to rename you in a world full of people who assume they have the right. Doing so will cause you to abandon belonging to your body. When you leave your body, you leave your home. And still, Eva came to the clinic carrying an exhaustion that did not come only from disease. It came from the constant effort of concealment, not the tiredness of a long day, but the deeper fatigue of always managing how she's seen, which felt safer than listening to her body's request to simply be herself. She knew the medical language: inflammation, autoimmune response, thyroid eye disease, but knowledge did not calm her nervous system around other people. Instead, it prepared her for fitting in. She learned to anticipate the gaze before it landed. She adjusted her posture, edited her expressions, and used her glasses like armor. When hiding failed, she made herself smaller. Her mind ran a constant script. They're staring. Make it a joke. Hide better next time. Don't let them see you care. Over time, the script hardened into something that sounded like truth. You are goggles. At first, the cost whispers, shoulders that never fully drop, a breath that stays high in the chest. Then one day you realize you're living from the neck up, observing your life instead of inhabiting it. Each outward search carried her farther from the home within, and the body plays for that vigilance. Chronic stress keeps the system braced. It slows healing. The question, am I acceptable, replaces the knowing, I am who I am. I did not cure Eva's thyroid eye disease. I treated her symptoms, and they improved. But remember, curing and treating are not the same as healing. And her healing begins only when she stops negotiating her right to exist and returns to her body as home. And when belonging stops being a performance, when her body feels safe. Reclaiming the body as home. Reclaiming the body as home where you belong is not a single breakthrough. It's a practice, a return. It means entering rooms without leaving parts of you behind, carrying your whole self, not curated version, saying, this is me, and I'm staying. It's wearing glasses to protect your eyes from the sun, not to disappear. It's changing your hair because you want to, not to be accepted. It's caring for your body to support your health, not to earn worth. It's honoring your history, your presence, and your voice. It's being who you are without apology. This is not selfishness. This is self-respect. It's becoming your own safe space. Now, I want to invite you into that same return with a simple question. Is there something you hold that keeps you from feeling at home in yourself? Most of us have at least one thing, a feature, a feeling, a truth we keep editing just to be accepted. When you feel yourself pulling away from who you are, practice these tools repeatedly. They build awareness over time and guide you back to belonging to yourself. First, mirror practice. Look at yourself in the mirror for 10 seconds. Relax your shoulders and say, this is me. I'm enough. Second, no explanation pause. When you feel the urge to explain yourself, stop. Take one breath. Say less than you planned. Let silence do the work. Third, pace reset. Notice your speed. Slow one thing down by half. Your walk, your speech, your breathing. Belonging grows at a human pace. Fourth, permission slip. Silently give yourself permission. I'm allowed to take up space. Repeat once, then move on. Belonging check-in. Ask yourself, am I performing right now? If yes, soften your face and slow your breath. Say, I do not have to earn belonging. Each time you intentionally pause and return, you strengthen the belonging. Not perfectly, but steadily, like walking home in the dark by memory, step after step, until your hand finds the door without searching. This work also asks for kindness. Notice where you judge or label others. Pause. Choose differently. Help them return to themselves too. When enough of us do this, we become safer to be around. And slowly, we build a world where more people can breathe, be seen, heal, and belong. A world that feels like home. If you have listened this far, something in you has already said yes to travel the healing journey with what healing knows. Thank you for letting me walk with you. You're now invited into the Timfash healing space, where today's reflection continues with a guided meditation, a journal invitation, and healing words you can carry with you. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments so we can learn and grow together, one breath at a time. For more guided meditations, you can find me on YouTube at Dr. Kitty. And if you share your reflections on social media, tag me on Instagram at drkitty.healing so we can stay connected on this path. Healing deepens when it's shared. Reach out to someone and let your care be a place where peace can land. Until next time, keep listening, keep returning, and trust that healing knows the way. With love and more love, Dr. Kitty.